Benjamin Disraeli once said, "Like all great travelers, I have seen more than I remember, and I remember more than I have seen." With an instilled passion for adventure from my parents, weeks of fundraising, and a class offered by my school, I had the opportunity to travel out of our country to see 4 others in the fall of 2015. Coming into Trinity High School my freshman year, I had the chance to sign up for a class that changed my life for the better. At school, with less than 100 kids, no one would expect we would be the first school in the county to have a traveling classroom, but with that, we did. Our traveling classroom wasn't just something you sign up for and get in. All of my 18 friends from school, along with myself, spent months writing papers, going through interviews, asking for letters of recommendation, and keeping our grades up just to get in. After that process was over, when my junior year finally started, with only a few months until our pilgrimage, we started looking up the places we were about to visit. Everyone in the class had different destinations to read about, write papers about, and give a presentation to the class telling us all that they have learned. When October rolled around, we packed our bags, said goodbye to our parents, and flew on an airplane to Ireland, our first stop. We spent 4 days taking bus tours, visiting castles such as Blarney Castle, where I kissed the Blarney Stone. This is my traveling classroom in front of Blarney Castle. And personally admiring the accents of all of the locals. We traveled all the way around the Ring of Kerry, and we visited St. Patrick's Cathedral. Our next stop was Wales. We rode a ferry to get there, and we visited a town with a really long name, which is the longest name in the world. While we only spent a day in Wales, and I honestly couldn't tell you much about it because by the middle of the week I was exhausted from all the walking and riding on buses, and I slept most of the way. In the end, it was crossing off another country from a bucket list, though. After Wales, we traveled to Scotland and stayed a few nights. This was my favorite country we visited the entire trip. It was my favorite because of the town of Edinburgh. I quickly fell in love with the architecture and the history of the city. The Edinburgh Castle was in the middle and has never been conquered. And for those of you who aren't Harry Potter fans, this may not be exciting news, but for me, I was over the moon. I got to go into the Elephant Cafe, where I sat at the same seat that J.K. Rowling wrote most of her books in the series. Our last destination in our trip was London, England. We spent 3 days in London walking around all the landmarks. We visited Westminster Abbey and saw Big Ben, which is actually the bell inside of the Elizabeth Tower at Westminster. We also got to ride in the London Eye, which is a really big Ferris wheel that looks over the city, and it took about 30 minutes to go around go around it once, and each card is numbered, and it has all the flags from different countries on it, and it skips number 13 because it's bad luck. We spent the last day walking around the city just shopping for souvenirs. This trip that lasted for a short while has brought me a lifetime of memories. It showed me parts of the world that I may never see again, but I hope to, and it taught me a very important lesson, being that the world is so much bigger than our country, my town, and myself.